We've got some horrible news. I'm sure everyone knows by now DMX has passed away, age 50, White Plains Hospital. Um, there was a lot of reports last night that it wasn't looking good for X. Some people jumped the gun. They were posting all types of shit. But he did pass away today, this morning. Age 50 is the reports. And this is a huge loss in hip-hop. This is a major loss in hip-hop, that's for sure. We're going to just, talk about his career, my favorite memories of his career. We're not going to really dig into all the negative because this is a celebration of life right here. And I got too much effing respect for this man to just talk about, his, flaws. We all have flaws in life, right? But I just wanted to put together something, really not planned. I don't really have it sketched out at all with where I want to go with it. And I'll kind of just ride the waves of the chat. Let me get a sip of this real quick. So, DMX is from Yonkers, New York. I grew up in Westchester. I was born in Yonkers, raised outside of Yonkers, moved back to Yonkers. But you see, Westchester County, everything is kind of right there. Everything is right around. So, if you live in Greenburgh, you're going to be going to Yonkers. If you live in Yonkers, you're going to be going to White Plains. You're going to be going to New Rochelle. It's just the way it is. And DMX was someone that repped our area. So when he made it, it was a big deal. When we heard him on the radio, it was a big deal. A lot of people have heard of DMX before he even made it because we'd hear him on mixtapes, local mixtapes that'd be spinning around town, and we're talking cassette tapes back in the day. We'd have DJ Superior in Yonkers, New York, and he would, put out a lot of his music, record a lot of his music at his house. DJ Superior is a big part of DMX's beginnings, from what I know, before he had the deal. Then he got one deal before he got with Rough Riders, I'm pretty sure, but that didn't really work out. And then he got signed to Def Jam through Rough Riders. And when his first album came out, it was such a major fucking thing. We were all so proud of him, because we seen him come from the ground, and he was from the dirt, You'd hear stories about him. I'd hear stories about him in Dobbs Ferry because he would be in Children's Village. So I'd hear stories about him, over in Dobbs Ferry, over in Hastings, over in Ardsley, over in Elmsford. We'd hear stories about just DMX, not even really just a rapper, but just crazy ass stories about this guy, DMX, As I was saying, like Westchester County is like, it's a tight-knit kind of vibe where you kind of know everything that's going on. Just to try to describe how it was in that part of New York. It's different than the 5 boroughs. It's different than upstate New York. It's its own entity. And as I said, when he was younger, he was in the group home over in Children's Village, right? And, you would hear stories about him, for real. You'd hear stories about him. I heard a wild story when I was younger about him in Hastings over at, I think it was the basketball court or something. Some funny shit, though. It wasn't even like some crazy, just some real funny shit, but crazy at the same time. And I'm going to get to the chat in a minute. We're going live, but I kind of just have to just keep vibing so I don't get off topic of what's going on. I do have a link if anyone would like to cam up. I remember when he got signed to Def Jam, he went on a tour, Survival of the Fittest tour. And I forgot who they were pushing, but they had a lot of the upcoming artists. They had, DMX was on the card, and Ja Rule was on the card. And they'd have a little bit of time. And during that tour, you'd have him perform like 4321 was out at the time. And, that was big. That was a big record for him. And then, you know, that record in general was huge because of the controversy. Besides that, you had the whole situation with cannabis and the whole situation with LL Cool J, right? And then you'd hear him on Funkmaster Flex radio with Noriega and Cannabis, and they like ripped it down for like 2 effing hours. You had DMX and Cannabis ripping it down for like 2 hours. And it was a crazy battle. There was even a battle that it wasn't even really a battle. I considered the Hot 97 thing kind of a battle. I felt like they were kind of competing against each other. But then you had what did we have after that? We had also a freestyle session, which you can see on YouTube with, and you can listen to all this shit on YouTube. You had this freestyle session with Big Pun. Mos Def, John Forte, Cannabis. That was another classic joint from, you know, when they were first coming up in the world and everything like that. And there would be a lot of mixtapes. You know, I remember going to Fordham Road in the Bronx, going to Music Factory. If you know about it, then you know about it. Music Factory, right by Dr. J's in the Boogie on Fordham Road. So, I remember there was a really popular mixtape, and I forgot who did the mixtape, but it was a really popular one, and it was Cannabis versus DMX. And for all you New York hip-hop heads, you know, before the internet was really so crazy, you had to go and get these pieces. You had to get the tapes. You had to go down to the Bronx. You had to go down to Harlem. You had to go down to the Brooklyn. You know, you had to go to Manhattan and all them spots and get these damn mixtapes. And then they came out with the mix CDs, but that was a really popular one where you would hear freestyles. There was even one, I'm pretty sure it was DMX freestyling over the Triumph beat, and it was really crazy. Crazy. And there would be like, you know, DMX back in the days, he would even rap really fast. He would spell things out. He had this joint back in the days, underground, it was called the Letterman. And he would be spelling all types of shit out, and it would be crazy. It would be fire, you know. He even had a record where he would talk about all the different areas in Yonkers, and that was like before he had the deal, and it was a real popular record around our way because we knew all these places, and it was crazy. It was a crazy joint, and it may have helped him get a deal because that shit would be playing all the time. I'll play it. Hopefully I don't get a copyright, but F it, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully you guys could hear it. Okay.
Just cool. Slow bombs are swollen. Body hurt Warbird, ain't no joke. Fuck around with Dope Garden, bound to get smoked. Live Yonkers Hill is living lavishly large, and out of all, with the young is New York in charge. Then there's 7 Pines, Woolworth, Ravine, on the corner of Glenwood. The hangout scene, 73, 83, Highlanders Hill. And you hit Getty Square on the after school tip. Roosevelt, Lincoln, Gordon is on. Emerson, Enrico Fermi, Hawthorne. Back in the days when school was not a hassle. Yonkers High, shooting dice in the castle. Artie, Martin Luther King school kicks. Then again, school 12 stays in the nigga. But as long as I've been partying, yo, I have never been at a better jam than the ones at Trevor Park after dark, morning to night, all day. All the way from North to South Broadway. Tell you where I'm from, just in case you don't know, nigga. Yonkers, a.k.a.
Why, yo.
Schooling, Riverdale's rolling.
Classic shit. I hope you were able to hear that.
Body hurt Warbird,
that's no early beginnings of DMX.
Bound to get smoked. Live Yonkers Hill is living lavishly large, and out of all.
Also, Swiss Beats posted something on his Instagram not too long ago. We'll check this out real quickly.
See me cry. I'm gonna make it to heaven. Light up the sky like a flame. I'm gonna live forever. Baby, remember my name. Together.
Man, that's crazy. Swiss writes, I'm beyond devastated, he says, but I'm so happy my brother is no longer in pain. Jesus. Check out his Instagram. I can't even read that right now. That's not easy to read. Thank you for the dono. He says Pop Smoke featuring DMX will be the track of the year. I hope we get that. That would be dope. He's supposed to be on DMX's new album. Please hit the thumbs up button, show that love and support. Share this video, tweet it, share it on Facebook. If anyone would like to cam up, share some DMX stories, whether it's you meeting him or if you, you know, had a funny experience or a crazy story while you were listening to his music, let us know. Leave it in the chat, leave it in the comments. I just wanted to open up this platform so people could celebrate the great DMX, man. We definitely got to celebrate his life today. And thank you so much for the donation from my dude, the Solo Man. I appreciate you so effing much. That's the ultimate compliment. So you know what we got to do. I got to hit you with that ultimate effing Delz.
Boom, boom, boom! What's good?
What's good is the Soul of Mine. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you. Let's get to the chat a little bit. I apologize. It's just I don't want to forget where we are on this timeline to this tribute. Jesus, what's up, man? Salute. Yeah, I was playing Slippin' earlier. That's right. J. Lou, 22, what it do? What year did DMX stop putting out albums? I'm trying to think. What was his last album? Was it the Grand Champ album? Alexa, what was DMX's last album?
The last music released by DMX was Redemption of the Beast, which was released on January 13th, 2015.
Okay, 2015. That Alexa's good. Yeah, it's a sad day today. That's my old stomping grounds right there. The old record store buying vinyls, memories. What are you talking about? Where at? I remember back in the days in Yonkers and Getty Square, we used to go to Vision Quest. If you're from Yonkers, you remember Vision Quest. They'd have in stores, and you know sometimes artists would come through. It'd be you know, right down the block from Powerhouse, the studio where you know Rough Riders recorded at. Yes, this one does hurt, man. Bought doubles of his vinyl at that time. Yes, I still have his vinyl somewhere. Dred Jones, what's up, man? Love this Delz. You know, Tupac. You know, hold on one second. Let me gather my thoughts. Let me get a drink of this. A lot of people always talk about Tupac. And he is one of the greats. But DMX, man, he told stories like Tupac. His catalog was a mixture like Tupac, even deeper than Tupac. Getting into religion and Satan and the evils, you know. For real. So, let's get back to this timeline from me digging deep. So right before his album dropped, also we started seeing a little bit more from him, a few more features. What did we have? We had the Onyx record, Shut 'Em. Was it Shut 'Em Down with who else was on that Shut 'Em Down remix? I think it was Big Pun and DMX. We had that record. We had a record also with Mike Geronimo. It was a remix with DMX on it. I think Jadakiss was on there too. Ja Rule. Excuse me. There was a few different records that were coming out at the time. And then we finally got his album, you know, his first album, the Hell Is Hot album. And I'll tell you, man, that album it killed everything out. It killed everything out. Nothing was fucking with that album. And it was a weird time with hip-hop, right? Because you had the West Coast that was crushing shit. They kept pounding and pounding and pounding. If you really think about it, you had, you know, DMX, and then Jay-Z was coming up. But DMX was the man. When that album came out, he destroyed everything. everything. That album was fire from beginning to end. It was an incredible album, you know. Oh man, I just want to pull up the track list. It's dark and hell is hot. So you had the intro, which was fire, and then it went right to the Rough Riders anthem. Then you had that Fucking with D, which had a high pace. It had so much energy to it, right? I don't give a fuck about y'all. You remember that joint? And then you had The Storm, and then you had Look Into My Eyes, See What I See. That joint was deep too. Get At Me Dog was a banger, and that's really what took him off, right? Get At Me Dog, Rough Riders anthem, those records, major, right? And then we also got a few others on the way, right? We had How's It Going Down, and of course, Stop Being Greedy was a monster record. Stop Being Greedy. You had X Is Coming, 1, 2, X is coming for you. You had the Let Me Fly, which kind of digged into, his demons, Damien was wicked. That shit was a crazy record. It was shit that you didn't hear really before. It was dark. The only shit that I've ever heard that was dark like that was the B.I.G. song when he was talking about, the suicidal thoughts. Even though that song wasn't a suicide song with Damien, it was an evil song, It was basically him selling his soul to the devil, which is super controversial in music in this day and age, right? You always hear about people. Yes, thank you. And that's why we need this chat here. 24 Hours to Live. That came out. That was a big record. Big record. And a great record. Everyone killed that, Even Black Rob was on there, man. Black Rob's a great artist too, man. It's a shame we don't hear from him no more. Black Rob was incredible. I wonder who was your favorite verse on that? That's a tough one. DMX crushed that one though. That was a crazy song. If you never heard 24 Hours to Live, just search DMX Mace 24 Hours to Live. I guarantee you will love it. Because I know there's young people that are just getting into DMX. They're young. It's sad to say this, but the artist is. I heard this through an industry person. I forgot who it is, but they were saying the artist is worth more money to the industry when they're dead. And Biggie, even Biggie said, you can't put Biggie saying to DMX because DMX is a freaking legend, right? But that's saying you're nobody till somebody kills you. You see all these guys some of these guys this year and last year, there are a lot that were a big deal. But I would see people posting recipes to this guy. I never heard of him in my life, and then I look up and, they don't even got big views. They got him in the past hour because everyone's posting that the person died, But yeah, I remember hearing someone in the industry saying that the artist is worth more when they're dead. And that was disgusting in my ears. And the music industry is kind of a turnoff to me. I had my one foot in the industry and I stepped away. Because there's a lot going on with it. But that Damien song was something crazy. You never heard no shit like that ever. You never did. And let's see what he says. Yeah, right on Fordham Road, the old music. Yes, you go down the stairs right by there. You have the guy selling the jewelry when you first walk in. I love that. I used to DJ in that store. All the way in the back, my boy Benny Blanco used to DJ. Anthony was the guy who ran the spot. Back in the days, they have the mixtapes on the plexiglass walls. We're talking real New York shit. A lot of people say they're from New York. They can't tell you shit like this. They can't break down the culture of New York. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you all about New York. I can tell you everything about New York. Slippin' was an amazing song. And that was an amazing album. That was an amazing album. A dark album, but it had its beautiful moments. And that song was a controversial song because of the fact that, that was one song that had producers starting to really want to make their own original beats because that was a sample. And the artist that they sampled that record from, he wanted like almost all of the you know, the return on that, from my understanding, allegedly. You know, my friend DJ Shock from Yonkers, he actually produced that. So shout out to my boy Amori too. And you know, that sucked for everyone, you know, that put that record together. I understand the artist, you sample an artist's music, you're gonna be like, okay, well, they gotta eat too, right? I put a song together and then all of a sudden you put out a song with my half of my shit on it. I want a little bit. Break me off a slice, you know. I'm not trying to eat the whole pie, but cut me one piece, you know. But some of these artists would be like, yo, you took my shit, you either gonna give me all of it or you ain't gonna get none of it. And that's crazy right there, you know. But yeah, Flesh of My Flesh was another masterpiece album right there. He had big records on it from Flesh of My Flesh. And that went platinum, or at least went #1 toward the end of the year. And you got to keep in mind, he released both of those albums in the same year. He released both of those albums in the same year. Can you imagine releasing 2 albums and they both go freaking platinum? And they're both #1 albums in the same year. Who does that shit? And I know now there's a lot of these guys that are doing well, you know, and they're moving a lot. They're not moving units, though. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Listen, back then you had to go and buy the actual physical CD. You had to go and buy the CD, right? You had to put some work in. You had to go jump in your car, go to the store, buy the CD, right? Now it's different. Now it's different. Now all you got to do is go and say, Alexa, play me some new DMX. Alexa, stop. I'm not trying to get flagged. You see how easy that is? But we're not paying for that song. We're paying for the service. So it's not like you even going to pay and give that artist the money, right? You're actually paying a service. You're giving Apple Music or wherever you want to pay, you know, wherever you go. You're paying for a service and you're just picking what you want to play. Versus someone like DMX, DMX was actually putting out physical CDs, just like a Jay-Z, just like a Biggie, just like a Tupac, just like a Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. These guys, you had to go to the store and buy the shit, you know? Now, I'm not saying that I want to go back to those days. Let's not get it effed up. I want to just tell, you know, my device, whether it's my phone or my whatever. I don't want to say the name or it's going to be active. I like this shit better. I don't want to go to the store. Trust me. But it's not as impressive. You got 1 billion streams versus you had, you know, an album go diamond and sell like 10 million copies and 10 million people literally went to the store to buy the shit. That's freaking impressive. That's some impressive shit. And that's what DMX did, man. You know, Alexa, how many albums has DMX sold?
Here's something I found on the web. According to MediaRoom.com, DMX is a record-breaking hip-hop icon who sold more than 20 million albums.
20 million albums. DMX has sold over 20 million albums. Now, how many artists today do you think that could get people's asses into the store? People don't want to go to the effing store. They don't want to go to the store, man. You know? They don't. People are lazy now. Everything's a smartphone, this, that. You put out Migos or any of these guys, whatever, whoever you love, right? You think they all going to the store to buy the shit? No way, bro. I'm telling you. No way. It's not happening. But yeah, man, you know, DMX had, I would say his first 4 albums were so solid. If you told me they were your favorite albums, I would not question it. Even his 3rd album, big bangers, big records. 4th album was knocking too. It was incredible. He was an incredible, super successful artist. And then you also had his film work he did. How many movies was he in that were big? You know, they were action movies, but they were big movies, man. They were big, big movies. He said, look, All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli dropped the same year. Damn. That's crazy. I didn't really. Wow, Harlem Music Hut. I remember that. Fat Beats used to carry my mixtapes too. Harlem Music Hut once in a while. They were a little funny with me. Music Factory always carried my mixtapes. Shout out to Fat Beats, DJ Clips. I didn't know you were so New York like this. I like that, bro. I like that. But yeah, man, you know, his film career was major too. I mean, he was in a bunch of movies. He had a #1 album out, and he had the #1 movie out at one point. I forgot what album and movie it was, but I know that's a fact. He also performed at Woodstock. Alexa, how many people attended the new Woodstock?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Woodstock Music Festival, held in Bethel, New York, August 15th through 18th, 1969.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how many people were at the Woodstock 2 show?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Woodstock Music Festival, held in Bethel, New York, August 15th through 18th, 1969.
Thank you,
was
Solomon.
attended by more than 400,000 people.
Alexa, Woodstock 1999, how many were in attendance?
Thanks for the feedback.
Fucking Alexa, Woodstock 1999, how many were in attendance?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
All right. All right, Alexa, you gonna do me like that? All right, Alexa, I'm gonna have to type it now. Let's see, 1999 Woodstock attendance. Okay, there was 220,000 people, around 220,000 people, and then another 10,000 working the festival. So 230,000 people were there, right? That's a lot of effing people. A lot of effing people, okay? How many freaking people perform for that amount of people, right? That's a good question, you know? I don't know if that many people that's actually rocked the crowd like that, but I know one man that did. And who was it? DMX. 230,000 effing people. Put some respect on this legend's name, for Christ's sakes.
Good Lord, that's awesome.
I'm telling you, some people, man, they put in a lot of disrespect. I see it, and it's crazy. Belly. Okay. Nah, that can't be right. That's not right. That can't be right. Alexa, what year did Belly come out?
Belly was first released on November 4th, 1998.
Alexa, when did DMX It's Dark and Hell is Hot come out?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Genius.com, It's Dark and Hell is Hot is the debut album by DMX, released May 19th, 1998, on Rough Riders Entertainment and Def Jam Recordings.
1998. Okay, so shit, maybe. Shit. That's crazy. It's so long ago, you know? It's so long ago. Think about that. Damn, bro. It's 2020. Shit. Told you. Listen, I like to ask can you guys hear Alexa when I ask these questions? That's crazy, bro. Yo, I remember listening to that damn album for the first time. I remember watching the freaking bootleg tape at this dude's house, man. Watching the Belly movie. That was wild, man. We smoked that room out and we were just chilling. Shout out to my boy Sheridan. Man. But yeah, DMX is a legend. He will always be a legend. He's an artist that, in all honesty, and it's sad to say, now that he's passed away, more people will have more interest in his music that never heard of his music. Young people will hear his music that never listened to his music, and they're going to hear it and they're going to be like, holy shit, this is incredible. And I hope this inspires people right there. You know, I hope this inspires this next generation to put some good music together. So I'm trying to think what else we could really talk about. You know, musically, you know, we started slowing down. I think also when you become a movie star, it kind of messes things up. If you look at other artists, you know, once you get into that Hollywood realm, I feel like it kind of slows down the artist. We've seen it with other rappers. We started seeing a little bit of a decline with DMX as far as seeing him out there as much. Of course, we started seeing him getting in more trouble. And I think maybe that may have had to do with him not staying busy. But, you know, this shit is a lot of work, that this stuff, you know, movies. You got to keep in mind, movies is like a 16-hour day every day. Then you got the music where you're going on tour, you're traveling, you're exhausted. You going from city to state, hotels, hotel, another hotel, barely sleeping. It's a rough life. I don't think people understand what kind of life it is to be a musician, to be a rapper, to have to travel and go and go and go and go and go. And you're only human, you know. And that's why a lot of artists go to drugs. Some artists go to drugs just to stay the hell up, you know. It's not an easy life. I know some people say, man, you making millions of dollars. You better get used to that effing life. People are only human, man. People expect too much from these artists. They think they're robots, you know? They're not. They're just like me and you. They just have that talent of music or acting or both. I bought his cassette first before the vinyl. I still have it all. Wow. That's amazing. Oh, yeah. The 90s, early 2000s was amazing for music. It was really good. Really, really good, man. People be sleeping on 2000s. 2000s was crazy. It was really crazy. His is a traitor. Oh, I got your shit going crazy. Yo, hit that thumbs up button and show that love and support. Let me know what your favorite DMX songs are, your favorite DMX albums are, favorite DMX moments are. One of my favorite DMX moments is more of a newer one. When he was at the I think it was at the Breakfast Club, and he started doing the Christmas carols. He did the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with the, you know, with the, he was banging on the table and shit, singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that, to me, that shit was so good. And then someone did like a little remix to it. You can catch it on YouTube. And I love that right there, you know, because he was just having fun, just, you know, just chilling, having fun. And it ended up becoming a big viral thing, right? And I always was thinking, man, what if he does another song one day? Like, maybe he'll go back over there and do a different Christmas carol and it goes viral. Another thing, he started doing Cameo this year. He just posted a video on Cameo.com where he was going to do custom messages for fans. Unfortunately, you know, you see what happened here, but that would have been really cool to be able to connect to the fans. He has an album that he's been working on, features Bono from U2. Griselda's on there. You know, it's supposed to be a really big album. He signed back with Def Jam, from my understanding. And we will get that album, I'm sure. I'm sure that's all recorded. He's got tons of music that has never been released. I know this for a fact because I know producers that have literally recorded an album with him. So we will get a bunch more music from DMX. But you know, it's just a shame. We were watching so much great shit with him, right? We seen him with Snoop Dogg on the Verses, and that was amazing. That Verses, that would have been crazy. Him on Cameo, that would have been amazing. But yeah, the verses with Snoop Dogg was so dope. You know, you got both the dogs, right? You got DMX and you got Snoop Dogg. It was great. I mean, I could watch that over and over again. And I actually have. He was on the Nori Drink Champs again this year, which was cool. It was a cool interview, you know. There was some weird moments in that shit, though, to be honest with you. But you know, it's a shame. It's a shame. 50 years old, and no longer with us. DMX, the legend, the great. And I just wanted to really just cover some of his accolades. If I missed anything, please let me know. Because I think people forget what this man has done. Because with this day and age, everyone's so focused on what's going on tomorrow and not what you've enjoyed in your life. Everyone's on their phone trying to find out what's happening next. What is happening next? You know? So it's like, sometimes you need to get like a vibe like this where you really can understand like what this man has effing done. Hard Knock Life Tour. You know, they weren't doing rap tours because a lot of people were so scared of the violence with hip hop and rap. This was a tour that had no violence. There was no violence, no crazy arrests, nothing like that. Redman, Method Man, DMX and the Rough Riders, and Jay-Z and Rockefeller. This was a huge tour all over the country. No violence, peaceful shows, and a success. An amazing success. And it broke the waves for where we are today with concerts. Trust me, if you were around that time, you know this was a big deal, the Hard Knock Life show. And I went there twice because it was so freaking sick. I went once, I think it was in Albany, and then I went another time in New Jersey. Redman and Method Man, when they come in, they had like these bungee cords they'd slide in like that. DMX would come in, he had like the jumpsuit. I have photographs somewhere that I took with a disposable camera from when I went to that show. I was trying to dig them up. That's why it took a little bit to do the show, and I still couldn't find them. Hopefully one day I will. But, you know, you had the big red DMX sign in the background, and he tore it up. It was insane. He brought out the Rough Riders. It was amazing. His show was the energy that you could feel, the energy. It was sick. And I've seen DMX so many times live. I remember seeing him, I think Hammerstein Ballroom. It was supposed to be, quote unquote, his last show. Shout out to my boy DJ Killer Touch. He was DJing, I think, for Kiss at the time. And I was able to maneuver into the back area and I jumped right on the stage with Swiss Beats while they were DJing and doing the show, which wasn't DMX's last show, thank God. But it was pretty cool being on stage while DMX was performing. I met DMX once very quickly. I was walking up the Powerhouse studio, that's Yonkers studio. When you go to the door, they buzz you in. You walk up these steps, and then there's the front desk. And I see DMX talking to my dude. I think it was his name's Gary. I forgot his name. It's been a long time. And he looked at me, gave me £1, and I looked at his damn bracelet. It was so freaking icy. He was wearing this bracelet that just was like, at the time, I'd never seen diamonds like that before in my life. And shit, part of me wanted me to be like, yo, let's get a flick. But back then there wasn't like phones like with the cameras on it, you know. But I just I was just like, what's good me and you, bro. And then I went to Drag On session. I went to go stop by and check out Drag On. So I used to go to a lot of Drag On sessions back in the days. And that dude Jin, the Asian dude Jin. So but yeah, man, I mean, I don't know what else. I think I covered a lot of his story. If there's anything I'm missing out, please tell me. And as I said, I didn't want to cover all the negative shit. Because that's all people want to hear. For a little bit, people are going to be, oh, DMX again. But where were y'all months ago? Where were you months ago? I know I was sort of praising DMX months ago. If you watched the Sneaker Addict, I always praise DMX. I still listen to 90s rap music. I came out last because it still sounds so damn good. That's why. Because it still sounds so damn good. So yeah, man, that's all I got for this episode. If you know someone that loves DMX, copy and paste and send them this video. Thumbs up the video. Please thumbs up the video. Show that love. This was not easy for me to do. It was not easy for me to do. So if I brought any entertainment, any enjoyment to your life, all I ask of you is to share the video, thumbs it up, just copy and paste it. We're going to be live later on the Sneaker Addict, 7 o'clock p.m. I'd love to see some of your sneaker collections. All you need is a phone, and I put a link in the chat. You click the link, and then you're on, okay? So I'd love for you to actually go and come through 7 o'clock at the Sneaker Addict, and I'd love for you to watch more videos here. Let me know in the comments your favorite DMX albums, your favorite DMX moments. I love the moment, too, where he was in that slingshot roller coaster thing where it just shoots you up in the air. He did it once with one of his friends, and then he did it again with his daughter. And his daughter was so terrified. She was so scared, but I bet you that made her stronger. I remember that moment, too. And, we think about Aaliyah, who passed away, and the magic that they had together on record and on film. They'll be reunited now. Let's pray to God. And look, Boomer and DMX will be reunited finally. We see that big tattoo of Boomer. They will finally be reunited. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm DJ Delz. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. And hit the notification bell because you never know when I will go live. And share this video, please, right now. Share it. Rest in peace to Yonkers' own DMX, Darkman X. Love you.